We've come along the highway about 50 kilometres to Boondi Rocks. I'm wondering if the toilets here are locked up the same way they are at Coolgardie. Now, one thing I didn't get to mention at Coolgardie was the dump point there. We were on our way out and went to use it this morning, and the damn thing was full. So not only are the toilets closed at Coolgardie, the dump point was chock-a-block as well. So whoever's looking after that site is doing a really bad job. They actually need a kick up the arse. Well, at least the toilets here at Boondi are open, and there's even a sink and hand wash there. So you're asking people there not to dispose of their caravan waste here, and they tell you where you can find the nearest dump points. I suppose just as well they're not mentioning Coolgardie Rock because it's full, as I say. We're just going to take a wander up to the dam here now and have a quick look, see what the water level's like, and then we're going to be on our way to Coolgardie. Seems like there's quite a bit more water in the dam here than there was at Coolgardie too. This one's a lot more full, and it's actually, the dam is quite a bit more attractive. Although because of the nature of these things, there's no way you can park up and look at them. You have to actually just walk up onto the edge. So Boondi Rocks is pretty much the same idea as all the other granite outcrops that collect water. You've got the runoff from the rock being directed down a channel into the dam here. So again, another one of those railway dams from the days of steam. It is now turned into a very pleasant overnight rest stop where you can get away from the highway. It's 3 kilometres in, although not in a direct line because the track is a bit wiggly waggly. But it's far enough off the highway to give you a nice restful night's sleep. Plenty of room here, and not many people have been using it by the looks of it. They saw one camper around the corner there. At Coolgardie was actually more busy. People would be better off coming here, I think, because the toilets are still open. This sad site here is the old Bullabulling Tavern, which I'm not sure how long it's been abandoned. It closed down some time ago. Let's take a quick wander around. I don't suppose there's much to see here, but it's just worthwhile stopping to have a look. Now, don't we all wish that diesel was 75 cents a litre now? Almost 3 times that in many places. So it must be quite some time since that one last pumped a few litres of diesel out. And we've finally arrived in Coolgardie. This is the old railway station museum. I don't know whether it's going to be open or not. It wasn't open last time we were here, so we didn't get a chance to look at it then. May turn out to be the same. Right next to that, they've got a 48-hour RV rest stop, which is very handy. So we'll be in here for the night, I expect. We are now going to get the scooters out and shoot around town. The main road is only just 1 block away over there, but that will be enough to cut the noise a bit. So there are a few things worth looking at in town, so we shall get ourselves organised now, go and have a look around. Anybody who knows anything about the history of gold and the discoveries will know those two faces. And even though Ford and Bailey found gold here, they didn't really reap major rewards from it. And of course, as the gold began to run out here, it never ran out on the Golden Mile, which is still in operation today. And that's really the reason that Coolgardie fell into decline and Kalgoorlie rose to be the monumental juggernaut of mining that it is today. Nothing up here to indicate that it opens anymore, so I'm assuming it doesn't. Bit of a shame. Lovely old cupboards and that inside there, and panelling. I'd love to get a good look around inside there and film it, but unfortunately it just doesn't seem to open anymore. Pretty much the same pictures I took before, although last time it was just still shots. And yeah, it just doesn't look like it's been used. It looks like it's well preserved in there. Looks like it's all in fairly good condition. But why aren't they using this? Do something with it, guys. It's a brilliant building. It's a brilliant old building. It would be great if this could be purposed into something else. This is a very substantial building, and yet another example of just how much confidence people had in the future of Coolgardie when it was starting to develop, that they would build something like this, plus those other wonderful old buildings in town. And then, because of the fines further east at Kalgoorlie, it all came to nothing. This place really should be repurposed into something more interesting. Beautiful old building. We thought this would be a lovely little spot to sit in the shade. We came over here with our drinks and plumped ourselves down, and the mozzies went, hooray, and attacked us in their millions, and we went, bugger, and ran away. An old goods wagon on the back there, and what I think is a water tanker, and then these would have been the old passenger cars. They've had to board them up because pretty well guaranteed they'd been vandalised. And we've got an old steam loco on the front there. Let's go and have a look at that. Here's the old steam engine, this coal tender on the back. These are the sort of trains that would have been stopping at the dams along the way up to refill with water. This one you can even hop in and have a look. Now that cannot have been a pleasant job, shoveling coal into a fire on one of these things in 40-degree temperatures, and they would have been responsible for just 1 or 2 bushfires, I would imagine. Some of the old gauges up there. Would have been hopefully some padding on that seat when the drivers were using it. And the view from, I assume, what would have been the driver's position. Now that would have been an experience, taking one of these down to Perth, bringing back carloads of people looking to make their fortune on the Goldfields. So you can see it over here. You do tend to wonder if they had to sit on that or if they had a bit of a cushion. Probably in the old days they didn't think about comfort for people doing these sort of jobs. It's a lovely old locomotive. Pity she's not in the best of condition. And this would have been where the coal was. Getting a bit rusty down there and on this side. And they would have shoveled the coal out of here across into the burner over that side. Up over the top here, you get a different view of it. Wouldn't have been the worst job in the world, but really wouldn't have been the best either. What do we got? Little notice up here, says what? check section authority. One assumes that has got something to do with being the train that's allowed to move. Some electrical work up there. Never had anything to do with this sort of gear, so couldn't tell you anything about that. Still interesting to hop aboard it and see what she looked like. Like somebody souvenired the plates off it, which is a pretty crappy thing to do. You can imagine rocketing down the line, one of these, back in the day. Somewhat more romantic than hopping on the Prospector, I guess. We're just having a look through what is known as Warden Finnerty's house. So it's up on the hill at Coolgardie. Warden Finnerty is a very well-known character in the Goldfields at the time. He was a magistrate and mining warden. And I'll voice over a little bit more detail about him in a couple of stories. But this is the house he lived in until 1911 when his wife died. He then left and moved to Geraldton. And this is Warden Finnerty and his wife above, and a picture of his son below. And for those who believe in it, the house is definitely haunted. Sightings made here and unusual experiences. So for those who are into the ghosties stuff, this is one place that a lot of people have experienced unusual things. And if you come up and visit Warden Finnerty's house, you can also get yourself a lovely Devonshire tea. So we're just going to relax and enjoy this. Now the old house here is well constructed to keep the temperature inside down as much as possible. Apparently the walls are double with a space in between so that they've got ventilation, and you'll see an example of that just down here. Goes into the cavity and up into the roof space and then out the top there. And that circulation of air keeps the inner walls cool. So an old-fashioned method of air conditioning that we seem to have neglected on all our modern buildings, which is why modern buildings are so bad when it comes to heating and cooling.